and conspiracy that's been shared on social media. Number 1, the Pope John Paul II, Jeffrey Epstein connection. In the wake of the recent release of material from the Epstein files, some people claim Pope St. John Paul II was involved in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking and cite this picture as evidence. This ex-user writes, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell being personally blessed by the Pope. Interesting. But a raised eyebrow does not an argument make. The Pope blesses thousands of people every year, and he doesn't do a background check on each of them beforehand. Other people pointed to this email from one of Epstein's assistants or associates saying that Epstein lived at the Vatican with Pope John Paul II, implying that the Pope knew about Epstein's activities. Now first, people have lived with even serial killers and not even known what they were doing. So it's not surprising if some bad people lived at Vatican City and the Pope never knew about what they were doing. But the evidence that Epstein himself lived at the Vatican is as flimsy as the evidence that Epstein unalived himself. In the email from 2015, 10 years after John Paul II died, some kind of contractor says he's trying to paint columns in different styles for Epstein and writes the following. He wants me to finish each column different, as when he was living with Pope John Paul II in Vatican. He looked at a variety of different columns captured in wars. He told me that every pope demanded to have a column from every conquered country, so there is a collection of different columns in Vatican. But there is no collection of columns that the Pope acquired after conquering different territories, so this is probably just a jumbled recollection of something a Roman tour guide told Epstein when he was in Rome in 2003 when John Paul II blessed him, and then he told this restoration specialist about it 10 years later. Now, John Paul II does share some blame for the clergy abuse crisis and McCarrick scandal. Part of this was due to the Pope having endured the Soviet occupation of Poland, where communists would use slander and lies to target people. So if someone, like McCarrick, denied allegations against him, John Paul II was more likely to imprudently believe these denials. But if you think a literal saint was actively involved in the sexual abuse of minors because there is a picture of him meeting one of the perpetrators at a public ceremony, then you need to log off the internet and go see Jesus at church for a hard reset. Number